Sabbath Day Church, 118 Chaney Avenue, Jacksonville, North Carolina. Gonna talk, huh? Nah, I don't know all that. When Brother Ron come back, he'll give you all the other information, the phone number, but everything should be online, regardless. Today's lesson is going to be over pride and what comes with pride. So, first we're going to start at Proverbs chapter 6, 16 to 19.
Proverbs 6, 16 to 19.
Hey, Shalom. Call and listen in. What, go ahead. All right. Hallelujah. Well, we just starting to go into the lesson right now. So it's gonna be right on time. We haven't even got to the first verse yet, but it's gonna be over pride. That's what the lesson gonna be over. Okay. And we're going to Proverbs chapter 6, 16 to 19. Alright. Proverbs chapter 6, 16 to 19 reads, "These 6 things doeth Yah hate, yea, 7 are an abomination unto him: a proud look, a lying tongue, and hands that shed innocent blood, a heart that devises wicked imagination, for that be swift in running to mischief, a false witness that speaketh lies, and he that soweth discord among his brethren." And the first one, you got to think about that too, cause Yah does everything in a intentional manner, in a chronological order. He, just like the 10 Commandments, the first thing he told you not to do, what was it? Thou shalt love. Where is it? Exodus. What's the first one?
Commandment.
The first commandment in Exodus.
Love thy God with all your mind.
Yeah, it's to love thy God with all thy might, and he said that for a reason, and that was the first one. So he said that in the importance that in order of importance, all of them are important, but there's some order. And in Proverbs 17, the first thing that is said, that is talked about, is a proud look, pride. And that's 17. So you gotta keep that in mind right there. And we're gonna go to Proverbs. Well, we went to that one. Proverbs 16, 18 to 20.
16, 18 to 20.
Correct. Okay. Now this is Proverbs 16, verse 18 to 20. "Pride goeth before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. Better it is to be of a humble spirit with the lowly, than to divide the spoil with the proud. He that handleth a matter wisely shall find good, and whosoever trusteth in Yah, happy is he." So, getting a build up for the characteristics of what pride does. to go in, because we go into some more details about some matters that happen in the scriptures. But it says, verse 18, pride goeth before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. Alright, and then the next one is going to be Exodus 9, verse 1 to 12. So we got some background on pride, and it's the first thing the Most High said about the 7 things he hates, still hates to this very day. And in Proverbs 16, we go into it that pride goeth before destruction. So anytime somebody self-destructs, pride goes. Whether for most times, obviously, it will be for the bad. Humility comes in your fall, and now you're sorrowful because you got knocked off your horse and you no longer have any power, and now your pride is gone. You just left with an aspect of humility. Okay, so Exodus chapter 9, verse 1 to 12. Now, so again, we already talked about the characteristics of pride and what they bring. Then Yah said unto Moses, go in unto Pharaoh, and tell him, thus said Yah of the Hebrews. That go back with that covenant type stuff. The Most High Yah is talking about, this is Yah of the Hebrews. So don't get no shalom, brother King.
Shalom.
Let my people go. Let my heritage. See, that go back to heritage too. The Most High say, let my heritage go. We're in Exodus 9. Lessons over pride. And we just went to Proverbs and talked about the characteristics of pride and how the Most High hates pride. Pride.
Just going to tell them chapter 6, verse 16 to 19, and chapter 16, this is in Proverbs, chapter 16, 18 to 20.
And pride go before destruction, and the Most High hates pride. So, Exodus chapter 9, verse 1. Then Yah said unto Moses, go in unto Pharaoh, and tell him, thus said Yah of the Hebrews, let my people go, that they may serve me. For if thou refuse to let them go, and withhold them still, behold, the hand of Yah is upon thy cattle, which is in thy field, upon the horses and the asses, upon the camels, upon the oxen, and upon the sheep, where shall be a very grievous murmuring. And that means, what is that? 3, 4, severe pestilence. And Yah shall serve between the cattle of Israel and the cattle of Egypt. So, obviously it's not about the plagues and that, but the Most High say, on one side the cattle gonna be straight, and just a block away the cattle is gonna be falling dead. Okay. Cattle of Israel and the cattle of Egypt, and there shall be nothing died of all that is the children of Israel. And Yah appointed a set time, saying, tomorrow Yah shall do this thing in the land. And just like we now, patiently waiting, because Yah has set an appointed time for everything to take place.
Sure.
No matter, it's getting short. No matter how much we bang on that door, like, I think it's time, Yah. Not quite. You know what I'm saying? Just you gonna be on the other side, with the cattle or whatnot. Okay. 6. And Yah did that thing on the morrow, and all the cattle of Egypt died. But of the cattle of the children of Israel died not one. And Pharaoh sent, and behold, there was not one of the cattle of the Israelites dead. So Pharaoh, you got his little snitches or the people who report to him. He's like, yeah, all of them alive, and all eyes are dead. All of them. You know, okay. And Pharaoh sent, and behold, there was not one of the cattle of the Israelites dead. And the heart of Pharaoh was hardened, and he did not let the people go. Pride. Who is this God of the Hebrews? In his heart he said, I am mighty Pharaoh. I'm a Nephilim. So the pride sets in, and especially when you got something. I have the riches, I have the women, I have the army. And this pride, because at this time, Egypt, nobody came against Egypt. It's the big dog. Ain't nobody on the planet was about to come against Egypt. They had the food, the knowledge, the weapon, the warriors. They had the Hebrew Israelites building up their kingdom. Ain't nobody coming against them. So, it comes with pride. Verse 8. And Yah said unto Moses and unto Aaron, take to you a handful of ashes of the furnace, and let Moses sprinkle it towards the heaven in the sight of Pharaoh. Woo! Now I like when y'all do this, because y'all one of them like, alright, you want to be a bully? I'm going to show you what a bully is. The show off type, He say do this in front of Pharaoh. Just like when y'all told King David, you did your adultery behind closed doors, but I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do to you. I'm gonna do it. Everybody gonna see it. That's what he's talking to Pharaoh about. And it shall be small dust in all the land. So Moses got a handful of dust and just threw it up in the air, and it just spiraled out of control. And shall be a boil breaking forth with glands upon man and upon beasts throughout all the land of Egypt. And they took ashes of the furnace and stood before Pharaoh, and Moses sprinkled it up towards heaven in front of Pharaoh, and it became a boil breaking forth with glands upon man and upon beasts. So all them beautiful, how they be lusting after women, all these beautiful, attractive, sensual, sexual women just walking around naked and all that. Man, they had boils all over. Man, no, I don't want to do nothing. No, ain't nobody was trying to get it on. Beautiful women, not no more. Okay, and breaking boils upon beasts. Verse 11, and the magicians could not stand before Moses because of the bulls, for the bulls was upon the magicians. Man, I can't help you, man. I need some alloy. You know what I'm saying? Pass me the bottle. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I need that. I can't help you. Magician, help us. I can't help you. Okay, verse 4. The boils was upon the magicians and upon all the Egyptians. And Yah hardened the heart of Pharaoh, and he hardened, and he hearkened not unto him. Meaning, the Most High is showing you His power, and Pharaoh is just getting worse and worse. Again, this is Egypt. This is Mizraim. For 7 years, all the world came to us for food. As Yah had spoken unto Moses. So I read that, to talk about pride there. And just pride will take a whole civilization out. His whole people, his whole kingdom was destroyed. And just every day that went by, it just got worse and worse. The kingdom. You heard about what happened in Egypt? Yeah, man. Yeah. We about, after the plagues, we're going to go rob them. And that's what they did. They went up in Egypt. After Egypt fell, they went up in Egypt and robbed everything. King Tut, Nefertiti, all the gold chains and all that stuff. Everything that they died with, man, they ain't respecting y'all. Y'all got taken out by lice. Ain't nobody respecting you. Okay, but I read that to talk about the pride. Pride can destroy not just you, but it can destroy everything around you, and especially a person who has particular authority, like a pastor, like a king, like a president, like a congressperson. Pride can destroy that person, but they're going to take everybody else out. Okay, and the next one is going to be 1 Samuel 18 and 5. We're going to talk about King Saul, and David. 1 Samuel 18 and 5. And that's why you got to keep coming back to the word to vex that. If you are having some issues, you got to keep, going back to the words, getting the spirits off that spirit, that mind off you, and, get healed of that. Because, even though Saul and the Pharaoh of Egypt are different, they both, had kingdoms. They was big dogs in the yard. You know what I'm saying? Pharaoh could have been like, all right, man, take the people, man. Thank you for building our kingdom for us. Take the people. But pride, is my way or the highway. Okay. Verse 5 on down. And David went out whithersoever Saul sent him, and behaved himself wisely. And Saul set him over the man of war, and he was accepted in the sight of all the people, and also in the sight of Saul's servants. So, the backstory, many of y'all should already know that David came and fought the Nephilim, Goliath, and killed him with the spirit God put on him, and the strength God put on him, and he started to become renowned, favored among Israel, a person that you know about for their deeds that the Most High worked through. And in verse 6, and it came to pass as they came, when David was returned from the slaughter of the Philistine, that the women, see, look what started that issue amongst women. I don't know if some man was like, go ahead, David, kill 10,000. That's my boy. But it was women. The women probably looked at Saul, said in their voices, David, and that's fighting. That's fighting words basically right there. Especially when women get in the mix of it. It is what it is. That's why we gotta go to the commandments. Gotta let that stuff be bigger than this stuff. We're gonna talk about that too in a little bit. And it came to pass as they came, when David was returned from the slaughter of the Philistine, that the women came out of all cities of Israel, singing and dancing, to meet King Saul with tabret, that's the tamarines, with joy and with instruments of music. So when Saul came in, he used to this. Oh yeah, ain't nothing. I'm used to this. But it's a change, and this goes with the change. Sometimes you gotta get ready to pass that torch. A lot of people who stuck in a position, it's mine. You can't have it. But the time is gonna come where you shouldn't be mad that an honorable person is walking in your footsteps to potentially fill your footsteps. And the women answered one another as they played, and said, Saul hath slain his thousands, and David his 10,000s. And Saul was very wroth, and the same displeased him. And David ain't do nothing to Saul, ain't do nothing to nobody up in there just chilling, and you wondering why somebody just looking at you in the corner, just, man, you ain't do nothing to nobody. I heard he got a promotion. You know what I'm saying? Just mad. You know what I'm saying? Pride. I'm better than him. Okay. And Saul was very wroth, and the same displeased him. And he said, they have ascribed unto David 10,000s, and to me they have ascribed but thousands. Like, God damn, like, it's like, man, you got $10 billion and somebody got $30 billion. It's like, what's $10 billion if they got $30 billion? Like, you missing the big picture, you know what I'm saying? Because of pride. Okay, and to me they have ascribed but thousands, and what can he have more but the kingdom of? And there go the passion of there go the passion of the kingdom, you know, giving your child the company, you know, this is mine, nobody gonna take this. What more can he have but the kingdom? And Saul eyed David from that day forward. Every time David come in,
I got my eye on you.
you know,
I got my eye on you.
and you can't hide the eyes don't lie. You know when somebody got that disdainment in their eyes, where you can't lie. Okay? And it came to pass on the morrow that the evil spirit from Yah came upon Saul, and he professed in the midst of the house, and David played with his hand as at other times, and there was a juvenile in a javelin in Saul's hand, and Saul cast the javelin from his hand. I will smite David even to the wall with it. Woo! Boy, when you mad like that, you playing with weapons. Woo!
Nail him.
You got a gun, you know, like the movies, man. They come through, man. You got a sword. You know, you practicing. Like, oh man, I can't wait to kill him. Saul up in there throwing spears at the wall. Like, what are you doing? You know, like, David. You know. And that's the thing I was thinking about too. Y'all put that on my spirit a few weeks ago about something else, but it applies to this. The more you get away from Yah, it's a retardation. You become retarded. Look at him. When pride set in, because pride is away from Yah, what started happening? Now he's in the room talking to himself, throwing javelins at the wall. Like, you're becoming more retarded. You know what I'm saying? Like, your mind ain't right. And it came to pass on the morrow that the evil spirit came upon Saul, and he prophesied in the midst of the house and played. Yeah, I read that, verse 11. And Saul cast a javelin from his hand, for his said, I will smite David even to the wall with it, and David avoided out of his presence twice. So, just like I was saying, the eyes don't lie. You don't think when David was walking in, he seen Saul looking, oh man, ain't nothing but trouble here. So David up in there like, let me, you know what I'm saying, let me ease on out.
You know
what I'm saying? Let me bypass that. And what's that? That's wisdom. You know, just like what Yahusha did when they was trying to kill him prior to the time. What he did, he stepped out, man, hey, y'all, whatever, man. I got something to do, you know what I'm saying? I got bigger and better plans, you know what I'm saying? So I ain't gonna rile up this spirit unnecessarily, even though I can destroy it, but you know, I'm just gonna, you know, avoid it. Okay? And Saul was afraid of David because Yah was with him and was departed from Saul. So look at that. What more can you get but the kingdom? So the spirit done left you. Now this pride, like, I can't believe this little shepherd boy. You know, and the killer part, that's the pride though, because that's what Zion is. We shepherds. That's the roots of it, shepherds. I can't believe this shepherd boy. You know how mad you are right now? Zion, the 12 tribes of Israel started from shepherd boys. And now you too good because you got a crown on your head.
You wearing a crown.
That's right.
And then you wouldn't even have a crown if it wasn't for
the shepherd. Yeah, that's right. So that's the pride, though. We forget our roots, and that's why kings were it was mandated that they must read the law continually to keep it on your mind. I guess Saul was slipping in that department. Okay. Therefore, 13. Therefore, Saul removed him from him and made him his captain over 1,000, and he went out and came in before the people. And David behaved himself wisely. So, and this is accountability. Y'all want you to do stuff when you're out here, man. Conduct yourself with some sense. Use some wisdom. David could have just been like, hey man, hey everybody, Saul up in here tripping, cause I killed 10,000 and he just killed 1,000. What's the problem, Saul? What did David do? He moved himself wisely. He didn't stir unnecessary troubles. He was wise in his actions with somebody who was throwing javelin at the wall. I feel one time he passed by Saul's room, David, and he heard a big boom. He's going crazy. Okay, and 15. Wherefore, when Saul saw that he behaved himself very wisely, he was afraid of him. And that's the thing, when you behave yourself around people who don't have the spirit of Yah, they looking at you like, why haven't you snapped? Why haven't that spirit jumped on you, to do something? So what spirit are you operating in that is compelling you to hold your composure in the midst of somebody who's not in composure? David was like, man, something's greater. Saul was like, something's greater here, and I need to hold my peace too, as much as I can. Verse 16. But all Israel and Judah loved David because he went out and came in before them. Okay, and that was 4. So I think it was in that one right there. Later part, go to Saul's daughter. And, he tried to set him up and stuff like, man, some real boy. You talking about brothers up in here. You talking about Benjamin, Saul up in here setting David up. My daughter no good. I'm going to give him to David. I know she going to cause him much trouble. And that's the retardation. He went from trying to kill David on the wall, thinking about it was him, to plotting on him. The more and more you're away from God, the more retarded you become. And that's why the reprobate mind is just like full out retardation. Like I can't do nothing for you, man. You're too far gone. The disease has set in. Okay, and the next one is going to be 1 Samuel 23. 1 Samuel 23, verse 1. Saul and David are going to be a main character for the pride lesson. Alright, so this is going to go... It's going to be the whole chapter. Read that. David, therefore, departed thence and escaped to the cave. And again, if y'all don't know the backdrop, in the midst of 19 and 20, Saul was like, man, I'm tired of this. Let's just kill David. The spirit of death was on him. Murder was on him. David therefore departed thence and escaped to the cave Adullam, and when his brethren and his father's house heard it, they went down thither to him. And everyone that was in distress, and everyone that was in debt, and everyone that was discontented, gathered themselves unto him, and he became a captain over them. And there were with him about 400 men. And David went thence to Mizpah of Moab, and he said unto the king of Moab, let my father and my mother, I pray thee, come forth and be with you till I know what Yah will do for me. And he brought them before the king of Moab, and they dwelt with him all the while that David was in the hold. And the prophet Gad said unto David, abide not in the hold, depart and get thee into the land of Judah. Then David departed and came into the forest of Herup. When Saul heard that David was discovered, and the men that were with him, now Saul abode in Gibeah under a tree in Ramah, having his spear in his hand. See that spear? He was like, man, the spear he was trying to practice killing David with, he still got that same spear.
Are we still on 18 or 23?
No, this is chapter 20. 20. Oh man, did I read 22? Not bad. I was reading 22.
Yeah, I'm trying to read that.
Okay.
Where did he read?
Okay, I was in 22. Verse 1. Then they told David, saying, Behold, the Philistines fight against Keilah, and they rob the threshing floors. Therefore David inquired of Yah, saying, Shall I go and smite the Philistines? And Yah said unto David, Go and smite the Philistines, and save Keilah. And David's man said unto him, Behold, we be afraid here in Judah. How much more then if we come to Keilah against the armies of the Philistines? Then David inquired of Yah yet again, and Yah answered him and said, Arise, go down to Keilah, for I will deliver the Philistines into thine hand. So David and his men went to Keilah and fought with the Philistines, and brought away their cattle and smote them with a great slaughter. So David saved the inhabitants of Keilah. And it came to pass, then El-beth-el, the son of Amalek, fled to David to Ahimelech, fled to David to Keilah, that he came down with an ephah in his hand. And it was told Saul that David was come to Keilah, and Saul said, Yah hath delivered him into my hand. What in the heck? See the pride here? The retardation. We just read in chapter 19 that the spirit left Saul. Now he's so crazed in pride that Yah's still with me. Even though you're in complete evil, you think Yah is still with you. That is complete madness. And it came to pass, verse 7. And it was told Saul that David was come to Keilah, and Saul said, Yah hath delivered him into mine hand, for he is shut in by entering into a town that hath gates and bars. And Saul called all the people together to war, to go down to Keilah to besiege David and his men. And David knew that Saul secretly practiced mischief against him, and he said to Abiathar the priest, Bring hither the ephah. Then said David, O Yah of Israel, thy servant hath certainly heard that Saul seeketh to come to Keilah and to destroy the city for my sake. I will the man of Keilah deliver me up into his hands. Will Saul come down as thy servant hath heard? O Yah of Israel, I beseech thee. I tell thy servant. And Yah said, He will come down. Then said David, Will the man of Keilah deliver me and my men into the hand of Saul? And Yah said, They will deliver thee. Then David and his men, which were about 600, arose and departed out of Keilah, and went whatsoever they could go. And it was told Saul that David was escaped from Keilah, and he forbore to go forth. And David abode in the wilderness in strongholds, and remained in a mountain in the wilderness of Ziph. And Saul sought him every day, but Yah delivered him not into his hands. And David saw that Saul was come out to seek his life, and David was in the wilderness of Ziph in a wood. And Jonathan, Saul's son, arose and went to David into the wood and strengthened his hand in Yah. And he said unto him, Fear not, for the hand of Saul my father shall not find thee, and thou shalt be king over Israel. Even, that's how bad pride is, man. Other people see it on you, you just don't see it. It's consuming you.
Well, Jonathan, his son, he even knew that his dad was
wrong. And that's saying a lot when your own son, your own flesh and blood is coming, not necessarily against you, but they not walking with you.
Supporting David.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And in turn, they're supporting righteousness. That's why the scriptures say, when they were in the wilderness, Yah said, don't do what your parents did. Love thy father, honor thy mother and thy mother. But you have a line, righteousness or wickedness. I don't care if it's your mother, your father, your sister, your mother. There's a line you got to choose. That's why the scriptures say, who is my mother, who is my father, but them that do the will of my father. Okay? And he said unto him, Fear not, for the hand of Saul my father shall not find thee, and thou shalt be king over Israel, and I shall be next unto thee, and that also Saul my father know it. And they two made a covenant before Yah, and David abode in the woods, and Jonathan went to his house. Then came up Ziphites to Saul to Gibeah, saying, Do it not David hide himself with us in the strongholds in the wood, in the hill of Hachilah, which is on the south of Jeshimon? Now therefore, O king, come down, according to all the desire of thy soul, to come down, and our part shall be to deliver him into the king's hand. And Saul said, Blessed be ye of Yah, for ye have compassion on me. It's madness. Like, man, that's like, honor amongst thieves. Like, you know what I'm saying? You be having like rappers talking about, thank God, God is good, after they just made a song about big booty hoes. I like to thank God. Like, what is wrong with you, man? Like, you just, actors, they having intense sex scenes in a movie. They get a Academy Award. I like to thank God. What? You talking about him?
But no, they ain't talking about the sun god.
I know what you talking about.
Other god, but they ain't talking about Yah.
Some of them literally talk about Christ, though. I like to thank Jesus Christ. I couldn't have done it if my hands were blessed. Now, we know the technicality, but they simple with it. They literally talk, they don't read or live the Bible, but they talk about, I like to thank Christ. Like, what is wrong with you? You think Christ is helping you support this? Like, that's the mind. Go ahead.
But Christ may be helping because Christ is not the
I know what you
Messiah.
I know what you mean, but before we come into the knowledge, people are still on that. You know what I'm saying? What's the next one? Yeah. So just read 19, now 20. Now therefore, O king, come down according to all desire of thy soul. Come down, and our part shall be. Verse 21. And Saul said, Blessed be ye of Yah, for ye have compassion on me. Yah ain't blessing you. That ain't Yah. Go, I pray you, prepare yet, and know, and see his place where his hunt is, and who hath seen him there, for it is told me that he dealeth very subtly. And that is 22:2 means craftily. David was crafty. 23. See therefore and take knowledge of the lurking places where he hideth himself, and come ye again to me with the the certainty, and I will go with you. And it shall come to pass, if he be in the land, that I will search him out throughout all the thousands of Judah. And they arose and went to Ziph before Saul, but David and his men were in the wilderness of Moon, in the plain on the south of Jeshimon. Saul also and his men went to seek him, and they told David. Wherefore he came down into a rock and abode in the wilderness of Maon. And when Saul heard that he pursued after David in the wilderness of Maon, and Saul went on this side of the mountain, and David and his men on that side of the mountain, and David made haste to get away for fear of Saul. For Saul and his men compassed David and his men round about to take them. And see, look at this, man. And we were just talking about Pharaoh. Now, how do y'all think, as they're plotting on killing an innocent man, that Saul is giving the command? You think, and you got to remember, Saul, the army of Zion at this point was huge. You think that Yah was happy with the soldiers that was looking to kill David? Like, I mean, see, that one man just put sin on all these men. Because the scriptures say, touch not my anointed, do my prophets no harm. And they was all coming to touch the anointed and do the prophets harm. And the army was probably in the thousands. But 27, but there came a messenger unto Saul, saying, haste thee, and come, for the Philistines have invaded the land. Wherefore Saul returned from pursuing after David, and went against the Philistines. Therefore they called the place Selah Hamalikah. And David went up from thence and dwelt in strongholds in Edigah, in Gede, something like that. Sound like Indian, some Indian. All right, the next one is going to be combined with that. Is going to be the next chapter over. Because the point of this is the pride, how it just comes in. You can't rest, you can't sleep. It's like chasing a high. It's like a crackhead chasing that high. I gotta get it. I can't let this person get the best of me. I can't do it. Verse 24 and 1 to 15. 1 to 15. And it came to pass, when Saul was returned from following the Philistines, that it was told him, saying, behold, David is in the wilderness of Engedi. Then Saul took there 3,000 and chosen men out of all Israel, and went to seek David and his men upon the rocks of the wild goats. And he came to the sheepcote by the way, where was a cave, and Saul went in to cover his feet, and David and his men remained in the sides of the cave. And the man of David said unto him, behold, the day of which Yah said unto thee, behold, I will deliver thine enemy into thine hand, that thou mayest do to him as it shall seem good unto thee. See that right there? That's some key stuff right there. What would you do if you had your enemy in your hand? That's some key. You see the double edge right here. Y'all say, do to him what is good. Do what is that right here? Unto thy hand, that thou mayest do to him as it seem good. What are you basing what seem good? And we're gonna find, and we'll talk about that in a second. But that's a key thing right there. You know, the person who's been causing you hell for 30, 40, 50 years, you the same, you they caretaker. Their caretaker. You know, you in the hospital, you can pinch them. You know, every day. You know, or you can just do right by them. Unto thee. Then David arose and cut off the skirt of Saul's robe privily, And it came to pass afterwards that David's heart smote him, because he had cut off Saul's skirt. And he said unto his man, Yah forbid that I should do this thing unto my master, the Lord's anointed. Now, this is the making of a king right here. This could have been like a whole one big test, for David. Y'all seeing where his heart was, where his pride was. Because it takes a lot to put your hand back when you got your enemy right there, to stretch forth my hand against him, seeing he is anointed of Yah. So David stayed his servants with these words, and suffered them not to rise against Saul. But Saul rose up out of the cave and went on his way. David also arose afterward and went out of the cave, and cried after Saul, saying, My master, the king. And when Saul looked behind him, David stood with his face to the earth and bowed himself. And David said to Saul, Wherefore hearest thou man's words, saying, Behold, David seeketh thy hurt? Behold, this day thine eyes have seen how that Yah hath delivered thee today in mine hand in the cave, and some bade me kill thee. Everybody else in the woods like, man, let's kill this crazy person. Everybody else like, man, we don't care if you do not do it. Nah, I'm tired of being in the woods. Just kill him and get it over with. But mine eyes spared thee. And I said, I will not put forth my hand against my master, for he is the Most High's anointed. Moreover, my father, see the skirts of thy robe in my hand, for in that I cut off the skirt of thy robe, and killed thee not. Know thou see that there is neither evil nor transgression in mine hand, and I have not sinned against thee. Yet thou huntest my soul to take it. Yah judge between me and you, and thee, and Yah avenge me of thee, but mine hand should not be upon thee. As said the proverb of the ancients, wickedness proceeded from the wicked, but mine hand shall not be upon thee. After whom is the king of Israel come out? After whom doest thou pursue? After a dead dog? After a flea? Yah therefore be judge, and judge between me and you, and thee, and see, and plead my cause, and deliver me out of thine hands. Okay? And remember in Proverbs 16, it said, pride goeth before destruction. Words will make somebody put a gun down. You say the right thing, weapons, somebody about to kill you, some words gonna make you. Now, that don't mean not judgment not coming for what you done. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Saul has been very, very wicked. And we'll touch that in a sec too. Now we're going to go to Proverbs 16:18 again to put this on our memory. Chapter 16, verse 18. Proverbs 16:18-20. Pride goeth before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. Better it is to be of a humble spirit with the lowly, than to divide the spoil with the proud. Is this not what happened with Saul and David? Humble David up in the wilderness, with the bugs and everything, being lowly.
Could you tell me the chapters again?
Chapter 16, verse 18 to 20.
18.
Verse 20. He that handleth a matter wisely shall find good, and whosoever trusteth in Yah, happy is he. This is basically in these 3 verses right here. This is the story of King David and Saul. And we're seeing how his wise actions are yielding its fruit. Okay? And we're seeing how the actions of pride is about to consume Saul. Now we'll go to 1 John 2:16. John 2:16. 1 John 2:16. For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh, and the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life, is not of Yah, but is of the world. And what is happening with Saul? He's becoming worldly now. What's going on? The pride of life. Ain't nobody supposed to be better than me. I'm the king. You know, you're not the king. You know, you just a temporary substitute king until the king comes. You know, but he's being consumed by that. And now I'm gonna go to 1 Timothy 3:1. 1 Timothy 3:1. Read on down to 7. This is a true saying. If a man desire the office of a bishop, he desireth a good work. If a man desire the office of a bishop, he desires a good work. A bishop then must be blameless, the husband of one wife, vigilant, sober, of good behavior, given to hospitality, apt to teach, not given to wine, no striker. So you ain't up in there fighting people, beating your wife, beating, you know what I'm saying? You know, your son come home with a F, you threw a brick on him, you know, like, hey, calm your spirit down. Not greedy of filthy lucres, but patient, not a brawler, not covetous, one that ruleth well his own house, having his children in subjection with all gravity. For if a man know not how to rule his own house, how shall he take care of the church of Yah? Not a novice, not a lukewarm person, lest being lifted up with pride he fall in the condemnation of the devil. What did Satan do with Satan? Satan had Saul, man, just twirling on his finger, man, just like, I got you. Anytime I want to bother you, man, the demons on you, the spirit of pride on you, anything that I want from you, I got from you. You got you talking to sorcerers, demons. You up in there bothering people that done passed away. Like, I mean, the train of iniquity Saul was on because of that pride. He was on that train, boy. God, you start telling the story of Saul, you like, when does it stop? You know what I'm saying? You up in there making threats to your brothers in the king's chamber. I mean, okay, verse 7. Moreover, he must have a good report of them which are without, lest he fall into reproach and the snare of the devil. So that pride, verse 6. Not a novice, lest being lifted up with pride in his fall in the condemnation of the devil. And take that, listen to that. It says, least being lifted up. Well, everybody that I ever seen who was prophet, they got a big walk. Hey, look. They way up there, you know what I'm saying? And what the scriptures say? That Satan is lifting you up, you know? You getting taller. I'm getting taller. You're taller. You're taller and taller, but you don't. The trap is set for you to fall. Okay. Now we're going to. I think that might be the end point, but Oh no. 31. First Solomon, 31.
Verse
Solomon 31.
31. Verse.
Verse 1 to 13. And going to end on here, I believe. Because remember, pride go before destruction.
First Solomon.
First Samuel. 31, 1 to 13. And so we understand that, the pride, Satan is up in here, ain't nobody better than you. And the women, we're talking about, David, and Satan was in Saul's ear. I can't believe they saying David better than you, lifting you up. I'm the best. And what a king supposed to have? A spirit of humility. And what did Yahusha come down to do? He showed humility. Real quick, let me go to this real quick. This is Malachi 1 and 14. But cursed be the deceiver which hath in his flock a male, and voweth and sacrifice unto Yah a corrupt thing. For I am a great king, said Yah of hosts, and my name is dreadful among the heathen. Now, you got to understand the characteristics of Yah and the plan to redeem what he did with Yahusha to come down here. Like, don't nobody disrespect me and get away with it. It's like I'm mighty, I'm great, but in the same aspect, what did Yahusha come down and display? Humility. And Saul wasn't displaying humility; he was displaying pride. And just like we was talking in 1 Timothy 1 to 7 about the characteristics of a bishop. This is basically the same office, you know what I'm saying? Because you're ruling over a church or whatnot. Verse 31. First Samuel chapter 31, 1 through 13. Now the Philistines fought against Israel, and the man of Israel fled from before the Philistines, and fell down slain in Mount Gilboa. And the Philistines followed hard upon Saul and upon his son. Boy, see, you gotta remember, Yah just ain't putting certain words in here for nothing. They said, and the Philistines followed hard. They got the drums. Saul, come out. Bang it on. We about to kill you. Wait.